Hey guys, welcome back for part 3, create levels. So we just finished setting up our WinForms. Now we're going to go back to command.cs and set that stuff up, alright? Okay, let's go through the to-do list first. So first we're going to set up the form, and then we're going to bring the values over that we got from the form from the user input, alright? So grab string, values, and convert to their respective types, which should just be strings, or integers, I guess. Sorry. Convert to respective types. And so if you don't know what strings and integers are, just basics. String is just like a list of, or sorry, a collection of letters. So for example, like this is a string, right? Just like hello right there, and it can be hello, my name is John Doe, right? That's just a string. Okay. Integer would be something like be. Oops, gotta end that. An integer would just be int would stand for integer, and you'd say age is equal to like 9 or something, and then I guess this guy's going to be strings hello, or string hello. It's going to be equal to that, right? So that's pretty much what it is. And if you don't know what a float is just it's just a decimal, right? So float test is equal to 3.0. Okay, so float. Did I get that wrong? Whoops, sorry. Double. Double is a decimal, 2-character. You can get more into it in terms of like how high they can go, because like integers have limits, and so do doubles and floats and stuff like that. So there is a way to, or there is stuff on the internet, and that'll tell you what their limits are and how high they can go, how low they can go, when you can use them, when you cannot use them. You can always parse too values from strings. So like you're gonna see how we're gonna do that. How we're gonna parse the values that we're getting from our form, and we're gonna change them from being a string to a double, right? So double test actually. Okay, I'm gonna delete this, and then we're gonna go from there, and then let's see, we got grab levels from the placement. Let's see. Oh god. Did we miss that? Yeah. So this is actually going up here outside of the transaction. Okay. So set up form, grab values, and then we're going to grab the levels, because there's already going to be one that's existing, right? Grab levels, project replacement, and then we're going to need to declare an empty list and array, and you'll see why. All right, and then we're going to have to, and after that, we're going to need to grab the highest level that exists in our project. Oops. And that's so that we can continue to add levels on top of levels on top of levels, right? And then after that, let's see, grab a floor type for creation, which we already did, and then let's see, after that we're going to, let's see, yeah, and then we're going to change the elevation to the highest elevation that we grabbed from our list up here, and then going into the transaction. Oof. So we're going to have to create a for loop to add floor height to the max height that already exists. And then, let's see, we have coordinates, which we already did, and then change that. And then that should be it. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. Okay, so first, to bring the form to view it, it's actually pretty easy. So it's just going to be form one is equal to new form one command data. All right, and then after that, it's just going to be form one dot show dialog. Okay, and that's it for that one. And then we're grabbing string values. That's going to be, so now we're bringing the string values over from the form one document over here, right? So to do that, it's just going to be, we're going to need to name it, so that we're going to call string levels value string, and that's going to be form one dot see levels value dot to string. All right, and then from there we're gonna, so this is the part where we parse it. So to get the integer out of that string, we're gonna do int levels value and then equals to int dot parse, and we are going to parse the value that we just got, so levels value string. This is the part why it's good to always name your variables like string, int, just so that you know like what you're parsing from or going to, or keep track of. Okay. And so after that, now we're going to do we do it for other value. Okay, it's going to be for the feet, so string feet value string is equal to form one dot feet value, there we go, dot to string, and then we're going to need to change it to a double. It's because that's what the value takes below. I'll show you. It's feet value double is equal to form one, oops, is equal to double dot parse, and it's going to be feet value string. We just got, okay. All right, so that's done there. Now we're going to grab the levels in the project for placement. All right, so we've done this one before. It's just a filtered element collector. It's going to grab all the levels in the project. All right, and so it's going to be filtered element collector, call levels, equal to new filtered element collector dot where element is not element type dot of category built-in category valid dot of class type of level. Okay. Also, again, I know this stuff's pretty dry, guys, but y'all are champs for sticking along if you gotten this far. Good news is that this is going to save you a hell of a lot of time later on in the future, or at least it'll give you the tools on how to do it yourself. All right. So now we're going to declare the empty value. So this is the part where we declare the empty value for the list and array, right? So we double, and so this is how you declare a list of doubles, okay? Or sorry, an array of doubles. It's important to tell your array what type of values it's going to have, all right? Some languages are very good at just not caring, and then some are not. I think C# is one of those that is, okay? All right, so double elevation array, and this is how you set up an empty array. and then list double level elevation list to new list. Double. All right, good. Okay, so now we're gonna grab the highest elevation in the project. Okay, and to do that, we're gonna do for each. So for each level in collection of levels, and say do this. That's going to be double elevations is equal to level dot elevation. This is where you're grabbing, if you use Snoop, like I showed you before, or Revit lookup, it'll show you the property for that, right? So we're just grabbing the level property of elevation. Okay, and then it's going to be, now we're going to grab the list. Yeah, so level elevation level list dot add, and then we're going to add the elevations that we grabbed, or that we just grabbed. Okay. All right, now with that, we're going to change it to an array. So elev array is equal to level elev list dot to array. That's because with the list we can't grab the highest value, but with an array we can when it comes down to integers, or doubles in this case, right? So if, like, for example, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the list, or sorry, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the array, 5 is the highest value in that, so that's how we can grab it, okay? And we're going to do that by doing this. Yep, okay, so it's going to be double dot, or sorry, the name of it is going to be highest elevation. Elevation is equal to elev array dot max. Okay. All right, and we have max right here, so to get rid of that one, we're just going to bring in link. Okay, and that red squiggly goes away. Okay, so we've already brought in the floor type that we need. So we're grabbing the first one, yep. And then elevation, okay, now under elevation, we're going to comment this line out. And to comment out in Visual Studio, just Control K and then Control C. And then below that, we're going to set double elevation is equal to highest elevation. That's the one that we grabbed up here, okay? All right, so now in transaction, okay, this is where we're going to create the for loop. Okay. So we're going to do for and I is equal to 0. While I is less than the int levels value, semicolon, I plus plus. Okay, so what we just did there, if you don't know, okay, so we created a for loop, right? So you have a list of, like, let's say we have like a 1, 2, 3 in a list, right? So it's going to say you're creating an integer I right here. You're initializing it, okay? So for I and in list, right? So then since this is a value, right? Right up here. So for the levels that we parsed, we're going to, this is for how many levels that we want, right? So that's the value that's taking. We're going to iterate through all those things in that list, okay? And so from here we're going to do, let's see. There's a to-do list in this for loop, so we're going to add floor. Here, I'll comment out this just so we can start from fresh. Okay. So we gotta add floors to floor to floor height. to max. We'll call it max level. Okay. And then we're going to create the levels, which we know how to do. And then again, we bring back in the layout comments. Or sorry, the layout coordinates. And we're just going to copy and paste that since we already have it. And then we're just going to append the 4 lines. So actually, it looks like we can just. So we can just start it actually. Okay, great. So for this, it's just going to be elevation. It's going to be plus equals feet double value. Okay. Well, plus, whoops. Okay. What plus equals does is it's the same thing as plus equals. It's the same thing as doing this, right? So if we have elevation, is equal to elevation plus feet value double. Okay, it's the same thing as doing that, but doing plus equals, it just makes it easy for it. Just add value to the previous, whatever the previous value was, okay? So, all right, so now we have that, right? So when we're doing that, right, for each time, for each value that, for each floor that we say we want to create, right, we want to create the floor and create the level, so we can take this, cut and paste, and then do the same thing for the rest of it. And we're just going to paste that in our floor, okay? And that's it. All right, hopefully this works. And if it doesn't, well then obviously we'll fix it. And I'll show you guys how to do that, okay? All right, I'm gonna start up Revit and let you know how it goes. All right, guys, so we just opened Revit project. I've gone ahead and skipped ahead and just created a new project for you, so you don't have to sit there and wait. Okay, so we're gonna go to 3D and get a better view. Hopefully what happens. Change it, okay. And open project, floor plans. So as you can see, like only one level in here, right? Okay. And if we hit our button, how many levels would you like to add? 3. Floor to floor height spacing, we're gonna call it 10. Continue. And there we go, we have 3 levels. All right, we got a floor there too and everything. It's great. And if we snoop or go to Revit lookup and we snoop our selection, you can see that. So we got something we wanted. Floor type, floor 1. It's good. Level ID, level 4. Great. Cool. And then we can do it again. We should be able to do it again. Hit that. Let's say we want to add, I don't know, 10 levels. And we want the floor to floor height to be 20 feet in between because it's a skyscraper. And got 10 levels. If we click them all, should be 13, yep, plus the bottom one. That's what I wanted. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, let me know if you guys have any suggestions on buttons you want to see. I think next on the docket is gonna be the part 2 of loading multiple families. I got a couple subscribers, thank God, so we're gonna go ahead with that. And then after that, let's see. After that, I can show you guys how to create a wall type. And then future on down the road, we got create sheet, create drafting view, place detail component, uh, add drafting view to sheet. That one's always fun. And then the one that's really great actually is a sheet creator, so that like if you're ever stuck late in the office at 6 p.m. and you have to load in the consultant's sheets, right? This is an easy way to do that. You can just pull it from an Excel or CSV document with the names, or sorry, with the sheet titles and sheet numbers, and then it'll all come in the way that you want. All right. We also have grab all grids and convert to 2D. I've had that issue happen to me where we have a level laid out right, and it's there's 40 different grid lines that you have to stretch out and make sure they're all laid out correctly on the sheet, and it's annoying to have to go through and click each grid line, and then it's like click 2D and then stretch it, and then no, you don't want to do that. This is just a button that will flip everything from 3D to 2D, and then you can flip back in if you want. All right. Okay. Talk to you guys on this one. Don't forget to please like and subscribe. Let me know you guys like the material, and helps me out a little bit. Thanks, guys.